Welcome, my witches. How are you all doing? I'm already, oh my God, are we in Pisces land? Yeah, how you doing? Welcome, Joe. Welcome, Sam. Ah, Darcy made it. Yay! Tell me how the balance is, please. I didn't do a sound check beforehand because I didn't. Natalie, yay, I'm so glad you made it, honey. Hello, welcome from Oz. Welcome to Oz from here. Hello, Roxanne. Hey, Stephanie. Get you some of those little charcoal. Yes, I didn't start the drums right away. That's why. I was sitting here and I've had everything like set for a while. Just doing the last little minute thing, getting my water, and last time I had looked, it was like 7:27. I'm doing this and that, and I look over and it's 7:30, and I went, "Oh shit!" So it's going to be very interesting. Yes, Joe, you can order charcoals from Amazon. You can order charcoals if any kind of little health food store or head shop around any place that has hookah stuff, tobacco, you can get them there. Um, but yes, you can get them on Amazon too. Ah, hello, Catherine. Hello, Sierra. Welcome back, dear. Okay, so do we need more drums, eh? Is that right? How's that? How's that balance? What'd you think, eh? Here's me talking. There's the drums drumming. Do they work together? Tell me, and we'll tinker with the sound. Um, no, this is not the beginning meditation. Not even hearing the drums. Samantha, okay. Now you can hear me. Good. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, the me on the screen in the beginning was not supposed to be there. I forgot to click my face off after I got things set. Ellen Marie, hello, der. See, I'm up to a great start. I need to relax. All right, hello, Ellen Marie. Okay, good, good. Thank you, my love. This is the one that's got a piece of iolite hanging under it, and it's got these these wonderful iridescent beads. It's gorgeous. Over 100 today and tomorrow. Oh my God, Natalie. Well, here, so we've had like an impossible number of sunny days in February, and it's been amazing. And then today we had a gray, rainy day, and you know how much I love gray, rainy days, but it was a cold, gray, rainy day. And where I live was right on the bottom edge of where the freezing rain was, so we had a little bit of the branches just got a fine coating of ice on them. And I had to go out a little while ago, and holy shit, it was cold and wet and miserable and awful. And tomorrow, got up to I think 35 today. Tomorrow's going to be 70. And then overnight it gets down to 20. So we are dropping 20 or 50 degrees tomorrow in like a 12-hour period. Ouch. So, but 100, it's way better than over 100 degrees. That's awful. Oh, thank you. This was the first thing I ever made when I started beading. And I made these with the cheap beads. So I'm going to have to make them with the good beads. And I can see, my lack of skill. I see the little gaps at the bottom of where the fringe starts. But I love them. Shoulder dusters. I need to make some more. Video chat delay. Oh, yes, there is. There's always a delay, Sierra. Sometimes, from the time I hit go till the time I have up on my monitor here, my browser, sometimes there's a 20-second delay. So if you, please, everybody that's in the chat, if you comment on something, it might be a good, particularly if it's directly to me, Refre- Please reference what you're either asking about or commenting on, because in that 20 or 30 seconds, you know I'm off down the road and we'll have no idea what you're talking about. So, Tavia, hi, honey. Okay. Motivation. Well, we have an Aries moon today. We went from the Pisces new moon into an Aries moon just after midnight. It went into Aries. So, yes, feel some energy pick up, I hope. Oh, unhappy joints and muscle. Yeah, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Oh, Natalie, I mean that's why I don't mind living where I live, that has so many gray and cloudy days throughout the year and lots of rain, because I can't take heat, I can't take dryness. My poor little Pisces moon heart just shrivels under those conditions. And heat just makes me physically ill. My system, I don't know whether it's an adrenal thing, but my system cannot tolerate extreme heat like that. Oh. Yay, I'm a catching up. Tongue time. I know. I have been like tumbling over my words and tumbling over my tongue lately. And the video that I posted, when did I put it up? Yesterday? Or Monday, the tropical versus sidereal astrology. I chopped so much of that out. There was a time at the end where I got myself so in a convoluted mess trying to make an analogy that I just kind of stopped. And it's like, okay, I can't, no. And I recorded like another ending for it and used a tiny bit of it because it was like, I don't, repeating myself, just, yeah, it's Pisces season for sure. And the decks that wanted to come out and play tonight, there was a lot of jockeying. There was a lot of jockeying for position. And yeah. So I think we have a good gang tonight. I think I do. I know I have a good gang with you guys. And if you would please join those other 4 people and hit that like button. Let's boost the channel a little bit. I am less than 30 subscribers away from 2,000. Yay! And I find lately that my mind is going to series, so, and I know I've promised before and then shit happens and I can't deliver. But I find my mind going, so I'm getting inspired about, videos and stuff. And somebody commented on that astrology video and said, it was a short but meaty video, definitely not a snack. And it's like I have a hard time doing astro snacks because I have a hard time taking one little thing. I want to spew up everything I know about it. So I'm trying to really dial things back and like take one element at a time, or one, aspect, just little tiny things, and just talk about that. We'll see how that goes. But I'm glad, Catherine. I'm glad it helped you. Um, yeah, I don't like whole sign. It seems to be just an artificial system. But then again, like I said, every system works for somebody. So, I don't want to throw out several babies with bathwaters. And it doesn't make any sense getting territorial about things. If you have a tool and you're using it and the tool actually works for you, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, Okay. So, oh, thank you for those likes. Thank you so much, you guys. All right, well, let's see if we can get this rig rolling, huh? Huh? All right. Let's do a little bit of an element blessing. My tiny, tiny crumbs. I'm getting the crumbs out of my sage bowl. And I will tell you once again, so many prayers going out for so many that are suffering in the world. And by this smoke cleanse, by air, may we be inspired, and by fire, may we be awakened and charged. And in this Piscean season where we are all increasingly vulnerable, I call in the protection of the spirits of air and fire, that we be protected from any excess, any harmful excess or deficiency in those realms. I almost just dumped this all over those decks. And by water, may you be cleansed and healed. And by earth, may you be made whole. Oh, is that what fell? What the? Hold on a second. I am missing my dinga. What the heck? Holy shit, you guys. All right, I know I dropped a big thing. Oh, I dropped my big pencil thing, and then in picking everything up, a lot of which landed inside the bell, I put this away as well. So, by the first tone, may all negativity, hindrance, and malignity be cleared from this space. And by the second tone, may our minds be cleared and our vision, our consciousness awaken. And by the third tone, may we receive the element of spirit and let the blessings flow in. And guides and guardians, allies and ancestors, we welcome you here. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your lineage. Thank you for your gifts. Thank you for your stories. Most especially, thank you for your protection, your aid, your presence. We offer you fresh water, and we offer you the fire of Azrael. Please help the spirit of divination to flow through these tools that we have here tonight. And please untie Luna's tongue so that she can speak easily and express what's going on in her head. Thank you very much. Hello, Marcy. Welcome, my dear. All right, let's ground real quick. Come down in your body. Whew. Feel that low center of gravity. Let your attention sink all the way down to your butt and all the way down to your feet. And as you feel it kind of settle and anchor, feel all of your skin. Open up the base of the spine, the root chakra, and let a root go down into the earth. Feel it anchor. Feel yourself stabilized and connected. And feel all the excess tension and energy in your body drain out through that cord, making you feel even more stable and yet lighter. And then let the earth energy start rising up the cord. Pouring in, pouring down your legs. Put your feet flat on the floor, uncross your ankles so that the energy can flow freely all the way down and back up, and then watch it filling up your pelvic girdle, filling up that bone cradle that sits in your pelvis and rising up into your belly, rising up, 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 into your belly, up into your rib cage. Feel it in your front, in your chest, and in your back. Rising up, chasing out pain, chasing out stress, chasing out tension up to your shoulders. Feel it pour down your arms. As they fill up, feel it rising up your neck. Feel those muscles soften up through your jaw, into your head, up through your face. Everything softens, everything relaxes. And now letting the breath out all the way. On the next in-breath, pull that earth energy up. See how alive it is. Watch it flash and shine. Release your breath, hold the energy all the way out. And then another. Release just the breath. And a third. Fill yourself up. Release out the crown. Watch as the light arcs down around you, forming an egg. Watch as it encloses you top to bottom. And as it wraps around your root and sends the excess down out the outside, you watch the energy come up through the center, out the top, down around the outside, and back down into the earth. And then reaching up through the crown into the cosmos, touch the stars. Let's touch the constellation of Pisces, the energy of Pisces and Neptune. And let that energy pour down and join with all the earth energy. And it happens nearly instantly. Cosmic energy is naturally attracted by earth energy, and they just like magnets cling to each other and spin all through your body. Trust absolutely that everything you don't need, any excess, anything that is harming you, is just spun out by the dance of this earth and cosmic energy. And now let's receive the energy of the Aries moon. No holds barred emotionally. Emotions experienced in the now and then moved through. And now take a deep breath, and as you exhale, push a layer of that egg out and just let it expand until it connects with the egg of another person whenever they are watching this now or in another now. All of these things exist beyond time and space. Feel them connect with each other. Feel your energy immediately increase. Feel the support system of this web that is created by these intersecting circles. It's a force field that can filter out the things that are not ours to carry. And that can provide us a clearer view of the things that we are carrying rightfully. And we put out the request that we may see clearly tonight into whatever we need to know. Right? Come on in, everybody. Hello, Sheila. Good, good, Sierra. See the power you have? See that power? Indeed. All right. So let's look at who came to play tonight, shall we? We have, there are a lot of decks here that I don't have boxes for. I went into the box that has the bags of decks that I always forget about because it's like Pisces season. Let's go to the hidden things that we forget about. And one of these is the Fairy Oracle or Wild Wisdom of the Fairy Oracle. This is a Lucy Cavendish deck. I think this might have been the second, maybe the first Lucy Cavendish that I ever got. And then we have the Shadowscapes Tarot by Stephanie Puy-Moon-Law and Barbara Moore. And the artist on the Lucy Cavendish deck is Selena Fennick. And then we have the Well-Worn Path Oracle. That was gifted to me by a friend, Sugar Kate. And my daughter bought me the book off of eBay. This is Raven Grimassi and Stephanie Taylor, and the art is Mickey Mueller. And then a new deck. You will see the unboxing for this on Friday, but I could not help but bring it tonight. This is the Fyodor Pavlov Tarot. It's new. It just came out in November, and it is already one of my favorite decks. I can't wait for you to see it. I'm kidding. Then we have Beyond Lemuria. There was another Oracle deck that I chose and put here. It was Fallen Angels, which is also a great thing for Pisces, but it just wasn't resonating. And then my eyes landed here, and it's like, oh yeah, baby. That's as Neptunian as it gets, y'all. Notice the purple on the altar. And this deck is by Izzy Ivy. Then we have Tarot of the Hidden Realm by Julia Jeffrey and Barbara Moore. So a couple Barbara Moore decks today. Both of those are Llewellyn, I do believe. Yes. A couple Llewellyns. And a couple of rock or Blue Angels. I think we've got a couple of Blue Angels. 3 Llewellyns. 2 Blue Angels in U.S. games. Alrighty. Let's see. Alright, do you know that if after hit the bowl, you rest the wooden ramrod in one side of the bowl? Oh, yes, yes, yes. That's this. It's hard because it wants to turn. So yes. Yes, you can and do. You can do that. It's a skill. It takes practice, and I'm practicing. Okay. No, you did a good job, Marcy. You did a very good job. I hope so, Sierra. Yeah, maybe some people don't, and that's what I mean. Let me see if I can do it while I'm holding it. Yeah, that's the skill, is not to get it hiccuping. kind of like that. Like, let me see if I can set it down without making it stop. Okay. Okay. Whoa, you guys, a good, lively conversation. I got to back up a little bit. Um, the well-worn path. Ooh, okay. The leather wrap creates fiction. Actually, the leather wrap side, this is not leather. This is like a velveteen almost, and the bowl does not resonate with it. That's why I use that one to ding it. It's the wooden side that causes the friction. Okay. Beyond Lemuria. Okay, cool, good. I'm glad, because they argue with each other sometimes, and so I make them tell me, why do you want to be here? And it might be interesting if you got one handy, you guys. Grab a deck, shuffle it up, see if let's see how far this vibe extends. All right. No, you're not odd, Sierra, but it might also just indicate that there are some things within you that are grating because they need to align. Sometimes the things that cause us to go are therapies that we actually need, but you also have to just, follow your intuition. And I know I have that one desk chime that's really loud, high and piercing, but it's very clear. But I know that can drive some people crazy. This thing with that, it has such a mellow, clear, and pure tone to it that I just love it. Pitchfork sounds, you mean tuning forks? Beyond Lemuria and Hidden Realms. Okay, let's see here. Well, okay, Hidden Realms. Yes, you're right. You were right. And so there we've got all these kind of branchy sort of things. That's pretty cool. And then we have a couple mandalas and some stars and shit. Well, okay, let's get going here, shall we? It's half an hour already, folks, but I think it's been a good half hour. Tuning forks. Yay. Okay. Yay, Joe. Yep, grab a deck. All right, let me see. Oh, Lunar Clarity. Hey, welcome. Welcome. You are not super late. We are just about to get started with the readings. What you missed is just introductions and a meditation, and you are here at the perfect time. All right. And that's right, Darcy, it's never too late. Yeah, well, I imagine that there's big, so there's also hearing things too. And if you have, particular hearing issues, it might literally be a physically painful thing. So, the range. All right. Beyond Lemuria and Hidden Realm. Well, and I'm doing some deck pairings lately. And one pair, which I decided was not the vibe for tonight, but there's the Hush Tarot, and I think it's Herbal Astrological. Is that what it's called? I can't remember, but it was gifted to me, and they have such a similar art style, and I'm pairing them together. And Hidden Realm has been out because my Froude's Fairies, I am deepening my relationship with them, and those two want to work together. But Froude's Fairies are not ready yet. We have some more personal time to spend before they come play. Okay. Pitchfork. Misophonia. Yeah, I do understand that. Tam and I were just talking about that today, because I have one of my misophonia things is the sound of, and just thinking of it makes me do this, a wet towel or a damp towel over a rope clothesline, being dragged over a rope clothesline. Yeah, not good. Okay. Rose petals. Hush to Rose. It's just, it really is an autumn deck. It's about natural decay. You know, I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay, but horses for courses. That's why we have individual taste. Not every deck is for every reader. Okay, Astro Dice. What do we need to know tonight? Give us our energy vibrations. Oh, I also have the flashy cat ball back here, so if you see something go off, that's what it is. So guides, guardians, please use that ball to get our attention. And you saw me, like, doing things, setting things on the table, and I said that and cast the dice, and there they are. Hee hee hee. Okay, now, yay, you guys just saw the moment. Okay, ooh, interesting. We have Moon in Taurus in the 7th house here. So moon energy, we're all used to, looking at the moon is it's how we react to things, it's how we receive life, it's our emotions and how we express them and all that kind of stuff. But moon is also things that go through cycles, things that are habitual or daily, repeating kind of things is another way that you can look at the moon's influence. Tonight, of course, we are going to look at it as that watery part of ourselves that is receptive to the subtler energies, for reading purposes. And in Taurus, the moon is exalted. So Taurus being an earth sign ruled by Venus, the moon is exalted here because the emotions become very much grounded in the body, felt in the body. And that's where we need them to be in order to process things. We have to feel the physical sensations and we have to process those sensations. We have to follow wherever they want us to go. Think of when something hits you and you need a big old sob and you swallow it, versus when you can just let it rack your body, let it rock you. And when you let it rock you and just follow it as the physical sensation, then you will feel it when it's through. It just dissipates. But if you instead take that and while you're feeling it, you think about it and you apply meaning and you generate meaning and you grind over things, you can just keep generating that emotional energy over and over. So the trick is to just be in the body, and that's what the moon in Taurus allows us to do, and it'll be in Taurus in a couple of days. And then we just feel the sensations, let them flow, process them through. 7th house is about commitments. It's about committed relationships. It's about the other, the partnership, and the negotiation that goes into partnerships, the living back and forth balance of partnerships. So I'm just going to see this as us being able to be in this watery energy and feel stable and grounded, and also feel supported and feel the companionship that we have here. So yeah, I like that. Can I zoom in? I will zoom in. No, I'm not going to zoom in. Actually, I'm not. I'm leaving things here so I have room to lay stuff out. If you want to see the dice, is that what you want me to zoom in on? There's Moon, there's Taurus, and there's the 7th house. Okay. Now, let me catch up. Oh, that squishy sound. It's a frictiony. It's a blah, 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 blah. Okay. When the moon is in the 7th house and Jupiter aligns with Mars, yes. Moon is also where we derive our security. So moon in the 7th house is we feel secure when we are in partnership, when we know that we have a commitment, when someone's got our back, when we are bonded. When we have a true bond with someone. Okay. Okay. All right. Very feminine moon in Taurus feels like fertile soil for part. Oh, yes. And for planting too. Excellent, Tavia. Tavia, I think you and I need to do like a something. Astro chat or something. That would be very interesting. Okay. Yeah, if you get on Amazon, I think you can get like four sets of these for like $10 or something. Just very good. And welcome to everyone that is here watching. And if you are new to the channel and you would like to join in on the chat, please subscribe, and then you have to wait for 1 whole minute before you can join the chat. So just, I'm not keeping you completely out, but you do have to subscribe and then just wait for a minute before you can join. The itty bitty dice, the itty bitty dice. I'm also going to get on Amazon and look up tiny dice because I want more. All right, who's up first tonight? Number 1 is number 1. So the Fairy Oracle. So I think my bumping the table is definitely having an effect on the bowl. Maybe if the bowl is in the tray, it won't go off so easily. We'll wait till it goes off and then we'll test it. I don't know if these are shuffleable, but I have to tell you, this deck was vying with another one for its place tonight. So, okay, let's leave it in the tray because I can go like this and it doesn't set it off. And every time I picked up this one and was, going back and forth with the other one, it kept giving me the same card over and over and over. And that card was, let me see, I'll find it. That magical help was on the way. This one right here, golden gift, magical help is on its way. 4 times. 4 times after shuffling, and then I would cut, and that card came up. And I looked at it, and the card isn't bent or anything. I don't know what is on the edge of some of these cards, but it is not that card. So, anyway. Ooh, hoo, 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 hoo. Oh, a little tube of teeny tiny dice. That sounds so attractive. I bet you off the wagon in downtown Kent would have those itsy bitsy dice. All right, let's see. These guys want to be upside down, I think. But I have to turn them right side up in order to see what the hell they want. Acorn's Invitation, touch, exchange, connection. 3 graces, cooperative ventures with friends, joy, sharing, new partnerships that are fun. Gosh, kind of like what the dice were saying, huh? The connection. Moon in Taurus is definitely very tactile. Okay. And then I've got a bunch here. 1, 2. There's maybe too many. Can I have another, please? May I have another, please? The Unicorn and the Maiden. Communication with Unicorn. Purification. Undercover action. All right. Let's see these 2 and see what do they even do reverses? Yes, they do. So let's look at the reverses. And I want to say, I kind of started to say that I would like to, in our connecting circles, just please send out some loving thoughts to Turkey and Syria, to Ukraine, to the people in East Palestine. And I am in that area. There are people experiencing things that are even farther to the west of where I am. Fortunately, we have a seriously purifying gravity filter. But there's much shit afoot, so we send out good vibes to everybody. All right, let's see. A card represents a beautiful man, physically appealing, earthy in nature, well in body, healthy in sexual appetite, who has a strong association with the archetype of Robin Hood or Robin Goodfellow. something of the faun or satyr or pan about him. I can see that. And while he's a man, truly he's also there to help his woman by loving and honoring her physicality. All right, I want to read the reversed meaning. Feeling untouched, craving physical contact, sensuality, starved for physical attention, mistrust and fear of physicality, a dislike of the touch of others, feeling uncertain about who to touch, when to touch them, how to touch them, hesitating in allowing yourself to experience the visual pleasure of desire, finding the material unspiritual, resentment of the body, a feeling that touch and physical satisfaction is unspiritual. Ooh. So here we're dealing with these issues of the material and the physical. And we'll turn him upside down again so we know that that's what we're dealing with. And then let's look at three graces, talking about cooperative ventures with friends. All right, let's go straight to the reverse. You've had some hard experiences in terms of trusting others at work, feeling negative energies, and experiencing toxic workplaces where the spirit was of competition and conquering. Because upright, this is about cooperation and working together in joy. This has resulted in doubt and trust issues around finding people to spend time with. Three graces are assisting you in your quest to find like-minded magical souls to play and to work with. And for you to know that, I got a message coming in, sorry. Sometimes when we are our own incredibly unique star child selves, it is just grating to be in the company of people who do not vibrate at that frequency. So beyond workplace stuff, this is talking about just people in general that we deal with, and also how, we can try, because we so desperately want that connection, try to drag people into our magical realm who are not ready to be here. And that can cause a lot of friction as well. So I think here we can be talking about who to open that magical part of yourself to, who to let in as far as that touch. I'm getting the perfect love, perfect trust thing coming up here. So finding like-minded magical souls to play with, for you to know that you have the ability now to easily, effortlessly find these people who will be like sisters to you. It's time to explore friendships, activate business plans with friends, and to overcome your mistrust of sharing with others. When the right souls are involved, all is safe and abundance is the natural result. It's also a call to, if you are finding yourself in conflict or finding that you have to really squelch who you are naturally in order to survive in your work environment, that's something worth examining and worth questioning, and maybe worth asking for assistance on, spiritual help on. Like it says, the three graces are here to help you. Looking for help on, please help me find the place where that rises to my own vibration, the place where I don't have to squash myself, I don't have to deny myself, where all of myself can be there integrated and I can truly give my gifts. Because if you're in a place where you have to, block off a great deal of your gifts and talents and personality even, are you truly contributing in the best way? So we've got those issues. Now let's look at unicorn and maiden. All right. Unicorn is a symbol of ancient magic's rising and the purification of earth and the etheric realms taking place. The maiden and the unicorn standing together indicate that you're receiving communications about detoxifying, clearing your environment, following your life path, and being a peaceful activist for change. So yes, this does look like we are being called into groups that are more compatible with our own level of understanding, with our own vibrational frequency, um, with our own understanding of magic, in order to be able to bring gifts into this changing world. And we are, we're prepping right now for this time of great shift and great change in March. So think now about, really how you can get together with people, how you can use the connections that you do have with the people that you really feel bonded and connected with, and start communicating within those friendships about broader things, working for bigger things. Okay. Oh, Oliva. Touch hunger. Yes. Yes, Tavia. It really is. And certainly there's a lot of that because of pandemic. We've been so cut off from each other, literally, physically. And have we regained all that we can? I mean, just meeting people and hugging them. We look at everything differently. So long lingering hugs with people that, that you love and trust are wonderful things. Back to the vibration poll, how certain people enjoy it and certain people don't. Yep. That's right. Change, change, change. And what are you hungry for? Because yes, Taurus, about food. And the moon rules the stomach with Cancer. So Taurus is the food, the moon is the stomach. What is it that we are ingesting? What do we have an appetite for? What do we hunger for? What do we feel we are starved for? And here it's talking about that hunger for that physical closeness, that companionship, partnership. So seventh house came through loud and clear here. It's all about the people that we associate with, that we are committed to, and really looking at maintaining those relationships or creating those relationships, or just acknowledging, assessing. Sometimes it's time to just look around and assess, and then from that you can see if there are issues, and then you can look at what we need to do about it. So indeed, Tavia, that's right. Story keeper. Okay. God, we're almost an hour in and I've used one deck. All right, we're going to trot along now. Who's up next? Number 2. It would be so awesome if they just went in order tonight, wouldn't it? All right, Shadowscapes. All right, you want to come out, obviously. They're telling me 3 shuffles. And off the top, so I'm not even going to cut shuffle them. And they're also telling me that we're doing the 6-card thing. I did a 6-card thing last night with the Pavlov deck, and oh my goodness. And it actually ended up being a 9-card thing because I went down and then I went up, and it was amazing. Okay. Now, yes, tap that like button, please. Okay. Otavia, that's awesome. That is awesome. Okay, so we have 6 of Swords, Queen of Swords, and then the Hanged Man. All right. So we see someone dreaming, sleeping, and being born by, looks like a heron, maybe a swan. There are crows perched on the swords. So the feeling is being lifted up and carried over top of what's down below. And that vibes with the 6 of Swords of moving through stressful times, transitioning We are in transition, big transition of Pluto getting ready to change signs. Lots of planets hitting critical degrees. Venus has gone into Aries. So, Queen of Swords, then, we talked a lot about her last week. She, let's give you a closer view here. Look at that moon in front of her. It's like a shield. So Queen of Swords is being able to discern, being able to step aside of the emotional energy, it's kind of letting emotions inform you, but not slap you around. And it's also that being a bit armored, being a bit defended. So it can be being defensive about emotions, being very ouchy about emotions. And then we have the Hanged Man. The Queen is looking at the Hanged Man. I'll give you a view too. This is such a beautiful deck. Absolutely gorgeous. So, both of these, the Six of Swords and the Hanged Man and the Queen, talk about not entering into the fray, not being drawn in. I just had a little exchange with a friend of mine about, one of the benefits of cronehood for me has been that I have a hole where my desire to be sucked into people's dramas used to be. I have no desire. And I also know where my power lies, and I know when I can't help someone and can't change someone. And it's like, I don't. So this talks about being kind of above the fray, stepping aside from emotions, being more detached and objective about what's hitting you emotionally and what you're reacting to and why. Being able to intellectually looking at the source and the origin of emotions. Because sometimes we can be in a situation and we have an emotion go off that is just not aligned with the situation, doesn't make sense with the situation. And that means it's an old trigger that's happening, and we can get very defensive about our emotions in those times. And we can get very precious about protecting our emotions as well. But the Hanged Man talks about just, again, hanging out and watching, observing. Let's observe for a while and see if it can change my point of view. See if it can change the way I see a situation. And the process of not getting lost in awash in feelings, but looking at them more objectively, absolutely. Then, between the Six and the Queen, we have the Knight of Swords. You saw me shuffle, right? All right, let's look at both here. And the Five of Swords, good frickin' gravy. No, they are mixed. This is just swords, swords, and swords tonight. All right, so we have an abuse of power here. Look at the Knight and this. They're squaring up. Look at these. We're going to square up, and what I'm hearing is decide what is worth fighting for. Decide what is worth fighting about, and decide what is worth fighting for. Just because we feel a feeling about something doesn't mean we have to own it, doesn't mean we have to get sucked into it, doesn't mean it's ours to fix. So this is all about stepping back and really observing and seeing how viewpoints can be changed before we get drawn into the fray. Because Five of Swords can also talk about an abuse of power, a win-lose situation, and Knight of Swords is ready to come charging in. And then at the bottom we have the Eight of Cups. So we can move out of that emotional territory, or we can learn to slip through it. So Eight of Cups usually shows someone walking away, moving through. And so with the mermaid here, you get more the sense of moving through those waters, because we can't just, unplug emotions. We do have to move through them, whether it's an old trigger, a new thing, whatever it is. if the emotion comes up, we have to process it. We have to. It's energy. We have to. It's like you've eaten an emotional meal. You have to take an emotional shit. You have to process it through. And also, there can be nourishment and healing that comes with it as well. So it says that, yes, we want to spend some time being a little more objective about things, hanging out, seeing if we can change our perspective, because it is very easy to get pulled into. And it's also about choice and choosing what to fight about and what to stand up for, what to fight for. And then we can, let me hold on a second. And sometimes the emotional issues are something from the past that does need to be resolved. And so in that case, we stand up for ourselves, and we are also very mindful that if we're going to confront, this is something that I have to say, I need to set a boundary. I need to talk about something, a past hurt with someone, so that we can resolve and move on. And when you do that, it's very easy for the other person to become defensive and come out swinging. Because best defense is a good offense. So knowing what you may face when you confront about things, of course, how you confront has a lot to do with it, but ultimately you're not responsible for how someone chooses to receive something if you're presenting it in the best, kindest possible way. And so we need to be aware of these things and choose how far we're going to take the battle before we can say, okay, I've said what I need to say. Now, before I get overwhelmed with emotions, I'm going to swim away this way. I'm not going to let myself be pulled into the whole emotional thing. I'm going to let myself move on from it. Okay. Holy shit. That was a surprise. Alrighty, let's see. Queen of Swords. This is the Shadowscapes. It is. It's a beautiful Neptunian, it's a fairy. It's so delicate. And what's great about this deck is the book has, unfortunately, they're not full color. Why do I remember them being full color? But we have big images of the cards so that you really can see what's going on, because the artwork is so very delicate. Oh, I wish it was in color. Anyhow, let me get comments here. Emotions are data delivery systems. People do what they want, they'll show their true spirit. Okay. Change your perspective, right. Right. And it also is a reminder of the things that we cannot control, and to, acknowledge those things with grace. And one of those things that we can't control is emotions. They're not here to be controlled. They're here to be felt. And we can feel them without looking for information at all. If you want to move through them faster than anything, you're not looking for the storyline. You're just feeling the physicality of it and going through that processing. Okay. Wow, there's such lively conversation going on. What's worth fighting about? What's worth fighting for? Yep. Okay. Hey, Kelly, welcome. Yay. Kind of. These were the first earrings I made when I started learning how to seed bead. They're my shoulder dusters, and they kind of remind me of wings. I like them. Okay. Hanged Man is ruled by Neptune. Really? I did not know that, Catherine. Also water, air and water, mind and heart. Well, there you go. Thank you for that information. All right. Yeah, it's a gorgeous deck. It really is. All right. Go get your color. You know what, Samantha? I thought about that. Well, because I won't do that. That's why. I don't have time to color. I've got too many other things to make and do and everything. And so So thank you, thank you, thank you, Shadowscapes. Shadowscapes, plural. All right, who's up next? Oops. No, we already had 2. 6. Now we have the Hidden Realm. They look so blue on camera. It's really a purple, but wow, they look so blue. All right. I know the chat is amazing. I just love to watch you guys having fun. All right. Oh, Fairies of the Hidden Realm. What do you need to tell us tonight? Oops. Well, here's the beginning. We have, I'm going to do this way. We have Strength and the Knight of Wands. And the Four of Cups. Okay. So strength is about control in a way. It's about self-mastery and self-control, but not in the way of dominance. It's in the way of acceptance and what do we want to say? It's peaceful connection with yourself. It's acknowledging the animal inside, and that animal has its own, has its intuition, has its reactions, has its wisdom. That part of you that is never, ever, ever disconnected from nature, no matter how much you overthink. So strength is about being able to master your own energy system. So I don't want to stray into controlling emotions, but mastery of emotional mastery. So King of Cups talks about emotional mastery. It is about someone that is not afraid to feel their feelings, and they feel them in their proper place, you know? And so when you've done your healing, sometimes emotions get scary. When we have stuff that's kind of buried deep and unhealed, and when those things that have been like underground for a while get triggered, they can come roaring out, and it can be scary. Emotions are powerful. They are powerful things. Think of the ocean. Powerful. And, you know, huge and vast and heavy and deep. And they can be scary in that regard. So being able to feel your emotions, doing your healing work, you know, part of that is being able to approach these emotional things and feeling them, telling your story, getting the help that you need. But then it becomes about the strength of, I've gone through these things, I've felt it all, and I'm still here. So understanding that you do have the strength to go through intensely emotional times and survive. They're not going to kill you no matter how bad they feel. And then we can be calmer about things, and we can also we learn to know ourselves. We get to know ourselves at that deep emotional level. Here's the Knight of Wands, and he's a goer and a mover. And then we have Four of Cups over here. So we've got kind of dissatisfaction. Funny, we had a major and two minors and a court in the middle. Now we've got a major over here and a minor and a court in the middle. All right, the Knight of Wands is about movement. He's about creation, creativity, great ideas. And Four of Cups over here is kind of that dissatisfaction, that disappointment. Let's take a couple more so I can start pulling these things together. There's the King of Pentacles. There's another court. And then we have Fortune Fairy. All right, the Wheel. So Knight of Wands in the center reminds us that things are in motion. The Strength card reminds us that we have been through it before and we have survived every shitty day and every moment that we thought was going to take us down. And it didn't. Or it didn't permanently. We're still here. And Four of Cups. That dissatisfaction, the Fortune Fairy here says that too will change. So change is a big thing here. And then King of Pentacles is about mastery in the physical realm. Strength in King of Pentacles talks about being so well grounded and so confident and so resourceful that anything that comes along that really moves you can be gone through easily. So okay. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles here. Look at him. Oof. Look at the tongs, and he's holding this pentacle that's just come out of the fire. So we're talking about creativity here too. All right, I'm going to read some comments because this isn't, they're not connecting into a story for me. So let's see. Make fairy houses, yes. Well, Sierra, the reason why I'm not going to color is if I have time to color, I'm going to be making things with beads. So that's my coloring. Yep. All right. Writing music. There you go, Sierra. All right. Dominance is so much easier than acceptance. Oh, hell yeah. You know, force and dominance are easier than having to be where you are. Yes. And, you know, they'll come and get you in the end, too. Kind of hierarchy, substances, realizing the potentiality. Acceptance is okay. I don't necessarily agree that there's a hierarchy. Because dominance, you can dominate your own self. You know, I can dominate my own body when it's giving me signals, and I can engage my Plutonian nature and just roll over what my body needs. Dominate. I'm going to win. I'm going to push through. I have to get this accomplished, and then I pay. Then I pay severely. So sometimes you can dominate, but for a time. There's always a thing that comes back, you know. Yes, and acceptance. And the thing is, dominating is not the power. It's not powerful. You know, acceptance is when you step into the power place, because then you can change things. Domination just tries to suppress. Acceptance. So yes, I see what you're saying, Samantha. Acceptance allows you to change something. If you accept the way it is, then you can see how it needs to change. If you're dominating something, you're just saying, "I'm going to win." You're engaging in force, and that doesn't necessarily allow you to change things, just suppress. So strength is really an issue here. And how we move through things. All right, I'm still reading. Seth Green from Buffy. Yeah, he does. Oh my God, he does. It's Oz. Sea turtles in the Australian Ocean current, yes. Yeah, but feeling the feels is being human. You know, this is a biggest part of our humanity. All right. The Australian current from Finding Nemo. All right, if you're making... Okay, so Refiner's Fire with that 8. Refiner's Fire. Okay. Refining metal. So, Fortune Fairy is organic change. She's the Wheel of Fortune. And it talks about seasonal change and organic change. And I think it's saying here if we're willing to just kind of sit with our dissatisfaction, then we can move on and just kind of hang out like that hangman was like, don't act. Just because we're feeling something doesn't mean we need to act on it. And I remember teaching my kids that just because you feel something about someone like a crush or something doesn't mean you have to act on it. That's a big one, you guys. So sometimes we just have to be with our feelings and sit with them, let them, feel them, and then wait until they change because they will. It's their nature. It's the nature of emotions to change, which is why love is not an emotion. It's a bond. There are feelings that come with it, but it's a bond. And think about how you can be really pissed off at somebody and almost hate their guts, but still love them too. Love is not an emotion. Emotions, anger comes and goes. All right. King of Pentacles, get yourself grounded. And I'm looking at the comfort that's shown there as well. Eight of Pentacles, forged in fire. So Tavia, what you said, we're talking about maybe being forged in the fire of, going through these emotions. They can feel like we're going, that we're burning off a false self, especially in the healing journey. When you really, get to the core stuff and start feeling that stuff, it's going to rock your world. You can feel like you're just being burnt to a cinder, burning away the false self, and then the true self arises, and they're telling me I need to take another one, and there's the Nine of Swords. Shit, man. All right, so you guys, like last week, there's big shit coming, and we will be in the best position if we can get as comfortable as possible with our own emotions. Look at how we tend to be. Look at the moon in your chart. Where does your moon sit? What sign is it in? What house is it in? What aspects does it make? How does it describe how you deal with emotional things? And what of that do you need to give attention to? Because we're gonna be getting triggered. Okay, so we have to, that Queen of Swords too talks about the courage to face the emotional. It's the air of water, and the courage to go in and face whatever emotions we need to feel. All right, better at responding instead of reacting. That's absolutely right, Samantha. Grounded in your passion, grounded in your strengths, Catherine. Yes, 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 and yes. And grounded in, hey, bring it. I've been through the fire. I've been through the deep ocean. I have felt grief that I thought was going to end me. And I have survived. So bring it. All right. Love isn't an emotion, it's a promise. That's very interesting. I like that. It's a bond. Absolutely. Okay. A Doctor Who quote. Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful, Sierra. Yep, burning off the crap. There we go. Alrighty. Phew, thought we, they keep coming in. Hey, let's play. Nine of Pentacles showed up. Kind of flipped out of there as I was getting ready to put it away, and that is telling us that we need to step back, take our private time, care for ourselves in the best way possible. All right, now who's next? No, we just did you. 4. Here we go, Fyodor Pavlov. This deck. Oh my. I hope the Empress comes out because I love her so much. And it's linen, that linen cardstock that shuffles like a dream and is kind of indestructible. The cards are great. The gilding doesn't come off. You don't have to have thick ass cards to put gold leaf on them or foil. All right. Daniel in the Lion's Den. Yep. Okay. Well, here we have my card coming out. Yep, the Queen of Swords way of responding to challenges, yes. Well, she takes no shit. That's for sure. All right. We have the High Priestess in the center. We have the Seven of Wands, and then we have the Sun. Lunar, solar. One of the things I love about this deck is that the color in each card, it's monochromatic. So we don't have multicolors. Like this one has blue. This one has varying degrees of yellow. Sometimes there's a skin tone and then a different color, but they're very, the colors are specific to the card. All right. High Priestess, what do you know? What do you know deep down inside? What do you really, really know? Bringing the wisdom up from the depths, bringing it over from past lives. Ooh, okay. Letting the light shine on what's been hidden, pulling back the veil. Time to let it all hang out. The sense I'm getting is to be prepared to like leave everything behind. I know I keep harping on this, you guys. But what do? You know, we can't just brace for impact and wait. You have to think about what you will do if the shit hits the fan in a huge way. Look at the people in East Palestine. Suddenly, you know, tragedy came to town and is killing and putting their health at severe risk. And they're getting lied to. And, you know, suddenly, what if you just had to up and leave your home? Suddenly, what would you do? What would go with you? Please plan, please think. So if things like that come up because nobody expects them, we don't expect that. But when things like that do happen unexpectedly, then we get thrown into just chaos. And if we have an idea and we can plan for those things, and part of it starts with what would I be like in something like that? You know, how would I behave? Have you been through big emergencies and crises before? What did you observe about yourself in that time? But anyway, that's kind of a digression. High Priestess just says what's hidden, what's behind the veil needs to come out into the sun. Seven of Wands is to just take that strong ass stand to claim your territory and claim your creativity, claim your vision. Here's what I'm here to do. Here's what I have deep inside me. Here's what I know from my deep well of wisdom, and here's how I'm going to bring it out into the world. Here's how I'm going to express it creatively. And there's strength again. And there's the Six of Pentacles. And look at this strength card with the Black Wolf. Oh, it speaks to me so personally. So again, we have to come from that position of strength, and strength means we can be calm. True strength means we don't need to defend ourselves. You know? Defenselessness doesn't mean you're just open and vulnerable to being victimized. Defenselessness means I'm not looking at you as my enemy. I'm not seeing anything as my enemy, so I don't have to get all riled up and defensive about it. I can come from a place of strength. I can carry myself. I know what I expect of myself. I know what's deep inside me. I know that, you know, I am empowered. Sun is a card of empowerment. And Six of Pentacles, I have resources. I know where I will go for the support and the assistance that I need, whether that's monetary or not. And then we've got the Ten of Wands here talking about carrying the load. This card is interesting because the person doesn't seem to be struggling with the load, but they are moving toward a place where there's shelter. Look at the smoke coming out of the chimneys. All right, hold on a second. So looking at exactly what you are going to be, and look at the traveling and take with you, that's directly in response to what would you take with you if you had to bail? What resources would you have and how would you tap those? So it's very interesting to know, for instance, the federal government has ended this emergency SNAP benefit that has been in place since the pandemic. And it's happening at a time when food is more expensive, way more expensive than it was when this emergency benefit was started. So I was just reading an article about this. In my county, they are shaking loose $1 million worth of funds and dispersing it through food banks and food kitchens and people that distribute food. So looking at the resources in your community and also looking at where you can lend your strength to these things, what you have to give and what you have to share. Because we could all be, I mean, we are all, these cards keep coming up of we are moving, we are in transition, and we need to really think about what we are carrying with us. So thinking about what would you like to be gone on the other side. Anybody gone through an initiation? Yes, you have. Yes, you all have. Formal initiations, like initiations into the craft, are things that resonate into your deep consciousness, and they certainly change things. But anytime we go through a phase change in life, where we come out the other side different than we went in, and then there's no going back, is an initiatory experience. When you go forward into something like motherhood is an initiatory experience. At the fundamental levels, it rocks your world and changes you, and there's no going back. So think about initiation in terms of just the strife that we're going through on this planet right now. We're going through an initiatory experience. And let's give some thought to what we want to carry with us. What is valuable that I want to still be intact on the other side, and what am I willing to let go of? Because the Ten of Wands can talk about carrying too much of a burden, carrying burdens that are not yours to carry. Can talk about oppression. So I think this Ten of Wands at the bottom here, it's like we stand our ground and, we move forward in strength, but we have to really look at what we are carrying and what we want to carry and what we want to still be there on the other side. That's the clearest I can get it, you guys. Wow. All right. That number 3 is being Chloe. An end of the world plan. Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you? If you just look around, because one of the ways we keep ourselves emotionally safe is by, having the fantasy of it couldn't happen here. It'll never happen here. I am safe. And so it takes a great deal of courage to look around at all of the people in the world who were also safe and are not now, because something way out of anybody's control happened, like the earthquake. So get yourself planned, get things set up, get your resources set up for those times, and then maybe that's going to give you just a little bit of, you can drop those defenses again and be not so fearful of what happened. Well, if what if happens, then you have a plan. I've planned for this time, and you can execute that plan. Okay. the people of East Palestine. Yes, yes, they are, Tavia, and there's so much bullshit going on there right now. I posted something on Facebook from someone who visited there with someone who wanted to go, and the only reason the person that posted visited is so they could help identify fish species. And as they got there, and death everywhere in the creeks and streams, and they had a couple ODNR people stop them and ask them all kinds of questions. And then they had black cars that kept going by, cop cars going by. There's some shit going on. Bet on it. Okay. I am terrified for Ohio as well. Okay, Catherine says, it looks like the person in the Ten of Wands has their eye on the goal. Absolutely. There's a clear path. You know, usually we're used to where they're just carrying the burden and it's all about the burden, but that's a great point, Catherine, is this one is about the path and the destination. We are getting somewhere. And look at what we are taking with us. What do we want to take with us in order to get there? What will be helpful? What is necessary? So that's an excellent point. All righty. Yes, it is scary. It is absolutely scary, I know. We had such a luxury before the pandemic, didn't we? The luxury of complacency, the luxury of ignorance. We really did. But to wake up, to really truly wake up, enlightenment wake up, you got to shake yourself out of it. Yep. All righty. You pick me up when the world ends. Yes, my heart does too, to everyone here. And oh, this Fyodor Pavlov tarot, I love it so much. I want to show you the Empress. You'll see it if you watch the unboxing. First of all, here's the world. Isn't she just a bundle of joy? And the Empress. And the only other teaser that I will give you, so you will watch the unboxing on Friday, is that the author of the deck is a trans man. It's awesome. Here she is. There's the Empress. Isn't she rosy and lusty and wonderful? So, yeah, great deck. Alrighty. Who do we have left? We have Well-Worn Path and why can't I think of it? Lemuria. I was thinking Luminary. Okay, so we want either 3 or 5. 3 or 5. 4. 3 or 5. 3. Yay! Yay, Samantha, 3. Here it is. Oh, it really is a fucking mess. I agree, Lunar Clarity. But the mess is because we are in transition. The mess is because the ick, the disease, the infection is showing itself. And so this is why we have to make these plans and think about the other side. What is the new world we want to see? What are we witnessing right now that we hope we never have to see again? I mean, one of the things about the earthquake, when you look at things that we have no control over, one of the things that made it so horrendously bad, was that the buildings that were built, and I think, was it Erdogan that had a hand in building them, or somebody powerful that, you know, financially footed the bill for those things, is that they were not safe. They were not safe. They cut corners. Here we go. Does this sound familiar, East Palestine? They cut corners. They didn't build things safely. So these are the things we're seeing, the things that need to be changed. And so we shore up our strength, we do our own healing work so that we have the courage to face these things, and then we think about what is worth saving on the other side. What is it that needs to be preserved on the other side? And how are we going to get there? The old ones want to know. So the old ones come out first. Our ancestors have a lot to teach us. They went through these kind of things when they didn't have the incredible resources and communication that we have. You know? All right. We have the maiden, and we have the eightfold path. All right. Give me a moment. So the maiden is telling us that spring is coming, and we contrast her with the old ones. And we're not just talking about the elders here, we're talking about the ancient ones, the ancestors. So we have deep foundations here, deep roots, and then we have the blossoming in springtime, the fresh and the new, and the eightfold path that reminds us that each of these polar opposite things has its place on the wheel. Each of these things has its season, its time, its place. All of these things are part of nature. These massive earthquakes, that's part of nature, you know? What's not part of nature is like all the chemicals and the buildings and the things that, you know, we do so that we are able to live in places that, you know, where earthquakes happen, and, you know, on the shore of an ocean where hurricanes happen and stuff. But the eightfold path is just the reminder that, and this isn't the wheel of the year. Okay, wait a minute. I want to read this because it's cool. Eight are the ways that lead to, and then it starts writing in magical alphabets. So the eightfold path is reflected in the wheel of the year and the 8 spokes that are on that wheel. And we each go through times and seasons of our lives that are reflected on that wheel. We have our youth and the times when, you know, our bodies were so young and healthy. I never really had that time. I had it a little bit, but, you know, that where things are fresh and new. And we also experience those times where we are in, where we're surrounded by death, where we're surrounded by, you know, the dying year, the dying fish in the streams. But here we're talking about more organic things. The eightfold path says we need to be familiar with every one of these spokes along the way, from birth to death, through initiation and growth, through relationships and partnership, growing through that, through procreating, whether that's children or things, you know, creative expressions. We need to be familiar with each one of these paths because there's power. There's power in every one of those. And then we've got Summerland and Harvest. That's fascinating because in pagan, some pagan traditions, we don't talk about heaven, but we do talk about the Summerland. That is the other side, you know, when the veil has fallen away, the veil being this body, and we arrive in the Summerland, in that blissful place where we will meet and know and love them again, you know, as the ritual says. So Maiden talks about the newness and then the old ones, and then we've got the Summerland where these things meet. So what I'm kind of getting here is really spending time connecting with our ancestors in real time and in just ancestral lines and history. And the harvest says there's so much to be gained from that deep knowing and going back into history, and also just knowing history as a human species, knowing our history, where we've come from, and what, shenanigans have happened before, and what has been forgotten that we need to be reminded of so we can make choices. And then we have Earth at the bottom. So, time to really start doing some magical working with the Earth, in partnership with the Earth. And to do magical working, to affect things, you have Earth. You have a piece of Earth that is with you at all times. Goes everywhere with you. And this is all you need in order to affect the greater whole, the greater Earth element, and Earth herself. So when you work on this, and think about we've talked about deep emotions and deep things that are still hidden there that we're kind of hauling around with us, like those 10 wands. Think about how you've gone through times in your life that really felt like an emotional earthquake, like your life was being shaken to the foundations. Something comes out of the blue, whether it's, a partner that up and leaves and your world comes crashing down, or a job that's lost, or a house fire, or, all across the spectrum there. And I want you to get yourself fully grounded in the strength that you have already exhibited, the ability to heal that you have already exhibited. All right? When you go back and look at those things and remind yourself of, this is the power I had. I felt like a hot mess the entire time, but damn it, I survived, and that's strength, and that's power. And especially when you acknowledge and you look at how you made it through. Even if it was a mess, even if you never want to think about what happened at the time, I think it's important too to go back and forgive yourself for however you got through times that maybe weren't so pretty. And also you look at leaving behind some of the old agendas or the old traumas that we have with other people. And I came across something the other day, and it was about, I don't know if it was something you shared, Darcy, but it was about, instead of using the word forgiveness, to use the word release. Instead of thinking about, I'm not ready to forgive somebody, or you can't ask me to forgive somebody, and I do understand how that feels when somebody talks about forgiveness and you're still very raw and traumatized. But when you've done your healing work, even if forgiveness sounds totally wrong to you, think about release instead. I always use the term, I release you to your karma, because I don't have to lift a finger for people to pay or feel the consequences of their actions. All I have to do is trust and say, I release you to your karma, and let it go, right? So you can unburden. But this kind of circuitous way, there's earth, there's harvest, there's the summerland. We're talking about the living earth that we are on now, and we also have spirit coming in so strongly here from the old ones and the summerland. And so we're being asked to tread this path where we are in physical reality fully, and also fully connected with the, what's the word I'm looking for? Non-physical, incorporeal, that balance. And then looking at the things that you've been through and that eightfold path, I'm going to read from this? Because I think there is a Wheel of the Year card. Yes, there is also a Wheel of the Year card. So let's differentiate. All right. When this card appears, it indicates that the matter at hand relates to self-discipline and personal commitment. So this is talking about magical training. Okay, gotcha. This card speaks of doing the work instead of imagining, revising, and planning. Doing the work. Dealing. Harvest. Harvest. Okay. The Eightfold Path calls for action. There's labor ahead, but the fruits will be worth the toil. This card can also indicate a period of study and or training. And look at this. Here's the study. Here's harvest. And what's the result here is earth. Look at her holding this. It's the magic that we can work. That has a really great impact. All right. Let's see how much there is to read here. Okay, there's a lot. I think that's really enough. All right, but here's the Eightfold Path. The Eightfold Path tenet addresses the traditional stages of training that result in mastery of the arts. These are comprised of mental discipline, development of personal willpower, proper use of substances that create altered states of consciousness, personal power development, ritual knowledge and experience, psychic development, dream control, astral projection, mental projection, so that's / mental projection, and sex magic. The Eightfold Path represents time-proven methods as opposed to the modern intuitive approach. So we are talking about formal training here and learning the different ways that we can accomplish magic. And that training will bring us a lot. There's a lot to be harvested from that, and then resulting in power. But the ancestors, the old ones, are up there, and they are reminding us that they're there, you know? And so I think we need to approach things with this, this youth, with this vigor and youth and joy that the maiden brings. But we also really need to hook in with the old ones, invite them in, let them guide, and get down to business. Get down to business with training. Let me look at the Summerland too. These are not in any kind of order, are they? See, these decks, the ones that were in the box with the decks in bags, I forget about them. And so I haven't looked at this one for a long time. All right, Summerland. When this card appears, it means that change is going to happen and it is not optional. So this is like the Death card. The card speaks about moving on and leaving behind the old for the new. At its core, this card is about transition and moving toward new enlightenment. New eyes will see in greater ways. There we go. There we go, you guys. Okay. Now I'm going to catch up with the chat. All right. Wow, you guys have been chatty. Okay. The light workers, absolutely. Yes, it is. I agree, Catherine. It is time for the light workers to start working our light. And I've had spell circles and prayer circles popping up in my mind too. It's time for me to get those started. And I will say that I am talking this way because I am finally starting to feel better. And I think it is something that is somewhat under my control. I had to really increase the amount of L-lysine that I take in order to suppress the Epstein-Barr virus. I was taking like a third of what I can take per day, and I upped that, and it helps instantly. Time for Parliament P-Funk. Yep, let it all come out into the light of day. All right. People paid income tax to hold earthquakes safe, but yeah. Yep. Tavia, absolutely. Yes, that is what I read, that these people paid in, but somebody took the money. I don't know that this deck is available. I do believe it's out of print because the book, my daughter had to really do some hunting to find it. But, you know, if you hit up Llewellyn, I think that companies are probably going to be much more receptive to people saying, how about you reprint something, considering, you know, the trend and the business to be had. Spiraling back to ancestral roots. Yep. All right. Crikey, lost track of time. Uh-oh. Okay, lunar clarity. So good to have you, dear. Ah, yay. Samantha needed a bath and a hairdo. Oh my goodness. Give her kisses for me. Yes, enjoy your yoga practice. All right. It is a good deck. If I hold you in contempt, I hold you. That's excellent, Tavia. It's easier to release. Yes. Yes, yes. Thank you, dear. I'm glad you like it. And it really, just that shift of word. You know, we've had it drilled into our heads. To forgive is divine, that everybody's supposed to turn the other cheek and we're just supposed to allow, you know, people to be the monsters that they've been. And forgiveness carries such weight and layers of icky meaning that I love the idea of release instead. Okay. Yes, Samantha, forgiveness isn't saying, oh, maybe they had a bad life, maybe they were having a bad day. I'm not sending my energy in any form to you anymore, and I am not living my life in reference to you anymore. I'm not living my life in reference to my trauma anymore, right? That comes with healing. And then, you know, eventually, when you release someone, eventually, maybe down the road, you can get to a point where you understand, like I got to with my mother when she was living here, that she was traumatized too. She was damaged too. And she had far less opportunity to address those things than I did. So you can come to an understanding. It doesn't, you know, still doesn't mean what they did was right, but you can release them and you can come to understanding and compassion, which is the highest place to get to, right? Alrighty. Anything that keeps those pieces of me stuck. Oh, this reminds me. All right. Forgiveness is for your own well-being. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it comes in your time. All right. Pulling back the pieces of your own being, yes. Marcy, yeah, don't you like that? I release you to your karma. Because it also acknowledges they're not off the hook. You're not letting them off the hook. It's just that the universe can bring that to them much better, much more efficiently, and much better than you can. Much more powerfully than you can. All right. Yep. Okay. More about transformation. Yes, there is. All right. Turn the other cheek. Yes, Samantha, that's great. All right, one more deck to go. Yes, yeah, I know. Turn the other cheek. I got a kick out of that too. But here is something that I don't want to forget. I had on my altar a card from the Naughty Oracle, and I wanted to read something to you from that. And while we are where we are, I'm going to do it because it's perfect for now. Where did I put them? Oh, they're right here. So this is a card called Shunned Shaman. Become self-aware, but I want to read this affirmation. And if I already read this affirmation last week or sometime, I'm sorry. But it's worth doing again because it is so perfect for right now. I'm going to read this in small sections so that you can repeat after me. I choose to dissolve, eradicate, and transmute any and all belief systems from my whole soul and being that anyone, anywhere has ever projected onto me, or any that I have projected onto others in any shape, way, or form. I transmute it all into pure light source energy for the highest good of all concerned. Okay, I'm going to read it all now in one thing. I choose to dissolve, eradicate, and transmute any and all belief systems from my whole soul and being that anyone anywhere has ever projected onto me, or any that I have projected onto others in any shape, way, or form. I transmute it all into pure light source energy for the highest good of all concerned. And another affirmation, I am wise and divinely attuned to my higher self to gain my own true inner guidance. That's kind of in a nutshell what that last reading was. Okay, and now we go beyond Lemuria. And I'm not going to shuffle this deck because you can't. It's, is this Rock Pool? It's Blue Angel. It's a Blue Angel deck. It has such thick, heavy cardstock. Interesting. Okay. I want one more, please. I'd like one more, please. I'd like one more, please. I'd like one more, please. And look at, that last one, too. The earth, the emotional, and the earth, and the transformation, the partnership. I love the way those dice really set up. And this one wants to come off the top, so that's what we're doing. All right. We have Soul Star Chakra merging with the divine. We have New Blueprints, and we have Mount Shasta. Okay. Transcendence, letting go, being filled with divine light, channeling, karmic records, the bridge between the spiritual and the physical realms, and ascension. The image captures the merging of time beyond space and kaleidoscopic wisdom that penetrates our being. We have lived in many worlds. All interconnected, they uphold the lessons they carry as messages of transformation. Their synergy creates the expansion of the universe. Gaze into the place where the light between our stardust can become anything, and collective evolution is part of a grander story. When we simply let go, we become all that we've been seeking and glimpse the greater dream. Now there's a little section called Restore. Remember that you are an infinite being with the ability to expand your awareness beyond space and time. Consider that paradigms outside this physical reality may be unfathomable until we raise our vibration and can think outside the mind. Meditate on the idea that everything that ever was and ever will be is happening simultaneously right now across multiple dimensions. So talking about paradigms outside this physical reality, but what we're after here is reaching this high spiritual place while we are still in this physical realm. The themes are karma, or what can be implemented or cleared for your optimal progress toward ascension. Release. The healing position, 15 centimeters above the head. For a card, healing anywhere just above the head is fine. Ooh, I'm going to have to read about that again. So 15 centimeters above the head is like what? About this? All right. The color wash is Kaleidoscopic Rainbow. Then we have New Blueprints. Be the change. Take action. Take a step, no matter how small. Ignite an upward spiral. Make a positive change. Ethics and compassion. Creating a ripple of light. I'm right away thinking about the Knight of Swords. I'm thinking about the Knight of Wands. I'm thinking about all the things that showed us motion and movement tonight. Be the change you wish to see is an empowering mantra to remind us that we can step up and create the blueprints for the world we want to know. Powerful, meaningful change starts with you today by envisioning what you want to see. What is it that you want to change? So while I know it's overwhelming to look at the news and we have to be very careful about our intake of things, we also need to be aware of what's going on so we can say, that I would like to see gone. That is one thing that I'm willing to release. This world can release that. Let it go. Let it go away. All right. Despite our desire to see change, we can be overwhelmed by all that is going on in the world. And making a positive impact can seem impossible. It is healthy to have an interest in what is happening around us, but it's important not to become so disheartened that we can't find the inner light to ignite even the tiniest upward spiral of improvement. So yes, monitor your intake. But again, remember, if you can affect this piece of earth, you can affect all the earth. This is the one, y'all. This is the center of your circle. This is the center of your universe. This is the center of your power. That eightfold path. If you can gain the discipline, the willpower, the magical skills, the ability to visualize, the ability to run energy through your body, the ability to focus your mind on a goal, the ability to generate the sexual energy and the orgasmic energy that really you need to launch magic and spell work, whether it's literally orgasmic or not. That's the training of the eightfold path. And if you can do that, this is your power tool. All right. There's still so much natural beauty on this incredible blue planet, and there are organizations and solo game shifters creating amazing transformation all the time. Shift your focus onto what is possible rather than what isn't. Stepping forward with action, however small, will benefit the vibration of the planet in some way. We have more of a voice than we realize. As consumers, we can direct our energy and make a difference through ethical choices. By stepping out of our own needs and wants, we can help someone less privileged. We can pick up trash, be present with someone, or smile at those we share a path with. Small acts create a ripple of goodness in the world. Yes, they do. Consider how all beings can co-inhabit this glorious planet. Could you design a blueprint for ethical, compassionate, heart-centered living? If you can envision it, you can create it. What would the guardians of this earth need to do, need to be? How would they feel about themselves? What can you do to uphold this? The divinatory meaning is, this card inspires action, no matter how small, that will create a ripple of light in the world. You are part of a bigger picture, a greater story, and your actions, your choices, your presence are making a difference. You have more power than you realize. Focus on what you can do and do it well. Change takes time, so make plans and start now. Blueprints, plans, make a plan. All right. Then we have Mount Shasta. Your origins, think about the old ones up there. Your origins, the seeds that make you what and who you are. Star beings, sacred power places, unexplained mystical phenomena, intuitive messages, downloads, dreams, and visions. Aware that their entire continent would be destroyed, the Lemurians traveled to other parts of the globe. Mount Shasta has a profound connection with the Lemurian people, as it was one place they journeyed. There are many tales of multidimensional beings living inside the mountain and sightings of all kinds of unusual phenomena here. Yes. Do some searching on YouTube or something about Mount Shasta and the stuff that goes on under there. And what else was it? Oh, shit. It slipped away. Please come back. Please. Oh, yes, that was it. If you're up for a good time, read a book called Even Cowgirls Get the Blues. Just find it and read it. It is a product of its time. It was written in the 60s, but oh my, and it's Tom Robbins. Please read this book. You will laugh your ass off. It's a party in your head. It's a fabulous story. Just do it. Don't watch the movie. Read the book. All right. When I received the intuitive message that I would be writing and delving more deeply into the emerging theme of these cards, I had a strong vision to visit this mountain and channel a painting on it. After a range of synchronicities, I found myself there. The ambience in this magical place cannot be denied, and the image you see on this card is what came through. There are codes there. You can see them. Mount Shasta also seems to have a connection to star beings and portals to multiple worlds and parallel realities. On arrival at Mount Shasta town, I was involved in a Pleiadian channeling circle where I had a vision of the stars communicating with the mountain through light code, and interconnected glowing grid lines lay over the entire Earth. I have experienced these luminescent grid lines before. I've been told I can put my hand into them and connect my healing light with all the other lights doing their work across the planet, kind of like we connected our circles tonight. During my time at Mount Shasta, I came to understand there have been many UFO sightings there, and I realized how connected the Lemurians were to star beings. Further research revealed several accounts of Lemurians being of mixed origins from throughout the universe. This place holds many stories, and I had my insights, but it felt right to keep the imagery for this card simple. I felt as if what was depicted spoke beyond the mind. I was quite perplexed at what the meaning of this card would be. I knew Mount Shasta would be an important card in the deck, but I didn't realize how significant it would be until the following was revealed. Pardon me, hold on. I planned to include symbols on the 10 chakra cards that would activate the chakras, but I wasn't sure how. The creation of these cards has been a profound unfolding, and when I sought guidance, I received the message that the chakra activation codes were in this Mount Shasta painting. There was a symbol for each of the chakras, and you can find them on the bottom left-hand side of the chakra cards. This image is the seed crystal that this whole deck is based around. Divinatory meaning. This card is about origins. It's time to honor and look more deeply into your ancestry, both your bloodline and your etheric lineage, as we have said. Do you have an affinity with any star beings? Connecting with them might allow you greater insight into your traits, your strengths, and challenges. Perhaps you have a Lemurian connection. This card may also be encouraging you to visit sacred places you feel attracted to. They may have an intuitive message for you. Ding, ding, ring-a-ding-ding. Okay, so there's the whole of activation codes, and we got a chakra card. So here's, come on, pop in. Oh, please, oh, please. There we go. And I screwed it up. Come on, there we go. Boom. So, light codes, ley lines, star beings, ancestors, guides, connections, all of us connected. So, let me catch up here. All right. Yes, you can go back and listen to that affirmation later on. And yes, saying it together. Well, honey, the magic is beyond time and space. Saying it together is very powerful. And you will be saying it together when you look at the video again and do it again. Trust. Magic is greater than any of us can imagine. Okay. All right. Write it down. There we go. I already wrote it down. Right on. Good for you. Yes, they would. They are. They're just so beautiful and fabulous. Okay. When you work on change on one level, it brings about corns. Yes, it does. Absolutely. You two crack me up. This next message is for you, and okay. Okay, the Urantian Chronicles. Nope. Daydreaming about a train trip to Mount Shasta. Oh, that would be wonderful. Simple as meaning as a euphoric experience. Well, orgasmic is the when you do spell work, it's not enough just to repeat something over and over again. You have to generate energy. Spell work takes energy, and orgasm is one of the best examples of what that's like. Up, 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 and then send it off. Send it off and drain it, Okay. Sorry. Oh, Samantha, the ecstasy of St. Teresa. Absolutely. It's bliss. That's our experience of bliss, one of the greatest ones that we have. And yes, Mount Shasta in California. Oh my goodness. Yes. I am ready for a trip anywhere. Anywhere, anytime, anywhere. Okay, so let's take a moment here. Wow, we're past 2 hours. This has been great. Let's take a moment here as we are winding down. And I'd like you to get settled back into your body. Feel that connection to the earth again. Feel that connection to the heavens. Feel the connection between our energy circles. Get down in the body. Let everything go and just be here in the present moment. You can let it all go for just this moment. See the circles of energy that are connected to each one of us. See them glowing and see how they are connected with each other, making this beautiful grid web, this beautiful pattern. And see them growing really bright. Reach down, let the earth energy come up and feel it grow. Feel those circles glowing so bright. Feel the egg that is around you glowing so bright, and you might want to take a breath and send out another layer very bright to join with the first layer and strengthen it. Remember that the energy comes from the earth and cosmos, not from your physical body. We are the channel. And just feel as you breathe, feel the energy flowing, feel it glowing, and those connections becoming stronger and brighter. Feel the glow from those connections kind of lighting up everything around them. Feel the strength that you're gathering from these connections. Feel it flowing through you. And let it build up. And in a moment, I'm going to guide us. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a very big breath. And when we release it, we're going to take that circle around us and just let it, we're going to launch it so that it goes and wraps around the entire planet. Each one of our individual circles and all of our circles together wrapping around this planet. And what we are going to send out is this feeling of connection, of bliss, of magic, of intuition, of love and emotion, of possibility, of healing, of change, of transition, of new blueprints. All of those things. You've just heard them. They're in your mind. You don't have to think them. Know that they're there. Set the intent that we are going to cover this planet with our combined, incredibly powerful energy, much greater than the sum of all its parts. Let all your breath out. Take a big breath in. And when you release it, push it out. Feel that circle go out and expand and wrap around the globe. And as it does, of course, it goes and crosses itself and then comes back to you and absorb all of that wonderful energy. Feel it come into your system. Feel the healing move through you. And then take anything that is excess that you do not need in this moment and let it drain down into the earth for another level of healing at a very, very deep level. And then blessing, send it out to the cosmos. All right. I know I had gotten kind of moved over here. You noticed me. Okay, so am I autistic? I am constantly rocking, swaying. You know, I can't, especially if I'm moving energy. I have to move. It moves me and I got to go with it. All right, you guys, thank you so much for hanging with me. Everybody that hung in there, you're amazing. You're truly amazing. Okay, let me see. From your lips to the divine's ears. Yes. All right, you guys. Thank you so, so, so much for being here with me and playing with me. And I'm taking care of myself in the best way possible so that I can do the things that I was doing before. And so I am reclaiming. I am reclaiming the things that really matter to me. And this and you guys really matter to me. So mote it be. All right, you guys, thanks so much. Please check out the unboxing on Friday. It's a departure. I usually do Oracle's unboxings on Friday, but you had to see this deck because it's amazing. All right, I love you all. Thank you, Roxanne. Thank you, Darcy. Thank you, Samantha and Catherine and Joe and Tavia and Sierra and everybody, Catherine and Marcy and Natalie and Lunar. Although I know you've gone already, thank you so much for your support. I hope I will see you again next week. I love you. Till then, blessed be.